Check it out, guys. I've got 4 of the most off-road worthy trucks right here. This is a brand new Chevy Colorado ZR2 with the baby Duramax. And over here, well, this truck doesn't necessarily compete with this truck because, of course, this is a Ford Raptor, the gold standard when it comes to off-roading trucks. And the reason that it's here is because Chevy benchmarked this when they developed the ZR2. They also benchmarked this one, the Tacoma TRD Pro, the most off-road worthy taco that you can buy. And of course, over here, this is another ZR2, but this is the one with the 3.6 liter V6. Now, what makes these trucks interesting is that they're all top-of-the-line off-road trucks. But let's face it, most of the time we spend on-road. So let's see which of these trucks makes you feel special, and let's see which of these trucks is fastest from 0 to 60. I probably know, but we're gonna find out anyway. So let's start with the Raptor because, let's face it, out of the 3 trucks, this is the most expensive. This is the, well, standard that off-road trucks are judged against, and that's why Chevy included it. 99% of the time, we don't take our trucks off-road, so let's see which one is the most special on-road. Things that makes a halo truck, which all these are, special is the way that you feel when you're driving it. Do you feel like you've got the best, the biggest, the nicest truck on the road? And I gotta tell you, behind the wheel of this Raptor, I certainly do. There's a sense of quality about it that goes beyond most trucks. I love the fact that you've got this 2-tone interior leather. I love this carbon fiber that they've splashed around everywhere. Now, there's no Monroney on this truck, so I don't know how much this guy costs, but I'm betting it's north of $60,000, maybe even $70,000 with all of these appointments. So you know what's under the hood of the Raptor? It's a 3.5 liter V6 that puts out, yes, 450 horsepower because it's twin turbocharged. And of course, it's mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission with paddle shifters. So we have the most gears, we have the most horsepower, we should have the fastest 0 to 60 time. Zero to 60 in the Raptor. Oh yeah. And boom, there's 60. That is fast. 6.56. But this part I don't like. Yes, that is fake augmented engine note that Ford pumps into the cabin via the speakers. And you know, I'm just a sucker for real things, and when they try to fake the engine note, even though the engine is fast, the truck is responsive, I still miss that traditional V8 sound. So I'm in the Tacoma right now, and of course the Tacoma has had an interesting history. This truck has owned the mid-size truck market for as long as I can remember. At one point, I think it had almost 3/4 of the entire truck market. And what's been happening over the years is that since the Colorado has been introduced, Toyota still sells as many Tacomas, but their ownership of the truck market is decreasing, so the slice of the pie is getting smaller, and that's because the pie is getting bigger. It is a truck that has been around for a very long time, but it is a truck that is continuously being improved upon. Toyota keeps just making it better and better. People know when they're buying a Tacoma, they're buying a truck that will be pretty much bulletproof. And here in Colorado, at least, it is also the vehicle that has the highest resale value. It has the lowest appreciation of any vehicle, car or truck. Under the hood of the Tacoma is also a V6, but this is a 3.5 liter. It puts out 278 horsepower and 265 pound-foot of torque. It is mated to a 6-speed automatic transmission. Faster that time, 9.28. There are some issues, especially for somebody like me who has kind of an odd body shape. I have a tall torso and short legs, and what Toyota does is they've raised the truck up very high, but they've made the roof very low, and in order to fit people like me in here, they've also made the seat very low, and it gives you this kind of weird, in my opinion, driving position where you kind of sit with your legs straight out in front of you. Now, some people who have driven Tacomas for almost ever love that, and for people like me, the issue is, look where I'm looking. I'm not looking out the windscreen, I'm kind of looking into the top of the windscreen, so I kind of feel like I should be driving it like this. As a truck that makes me feel super special every day, it's kind of out of a 1 out of 10, I'm going to give this a 6. It's not something that I would necessarily look back at after I parked it, and that's just because there are so many tacos on the road. Alright guys, I'm now in the ZR2, the one with the Duramax. The diesel is providing a lot of torque, but not so much horsepower, which probably means that it's going to be one of the slower trucks 0 to 60. What makes this truck special, of course, is that it's the only mid-size truck that you can get with a diesel engine, which means that I've got this cool little button right here, which is an exhaust brake. And that is cool because when you're towing, you want as much capability as possible, and this offers it. However, having said that, because of the way that the cooling works in this truck and that they've changed the front air splitter and air dam around, it only has a towing capacity of 5,000 pounds, which is not great, but what you are gaining is lots of torque, and torque and off-roading go together like peanut butter and jelly. You can just have this thing crawl up any kind of rock you want, and if you check out the video that I did earlier where we took these trucks off-road, you can see just how well it does actually when you're off-roading. Now under the hood of this white ZR2 is a 2.8 liter Duramax, the baby Duramax, the diesel. It puts out 369 pound-foot of torque and only 181 horsepower. So it's got a lot of torque, not a huge amount of horsepower. And unlike its brother with the 3.6, this has a 6-speed automatic and not an 8-speed automatic. And of course, it also has a front locker. And there we have it. I broke into the 10.77. Not particularly fast, let's face it. It's a little bit on the pokey side, but what you lose in 0 to 60 speed, you certainly make up for in fuel economy. Now, I do feel special driving this because not only am I driving a very capable and badass looking off-road truck, but I'm driving one that has a diesel engine. You know, this is sort of kind of the Wrangler of your dreams if it were a Jeep, because it's got the diesel and it's got a front locking diff, it's got a rear locking diff. I'm in the ZR2 with the 3.6 liter. This is a ubiquitous engine that's found in a lot of GM vehicles. It's direct injected. Now, This is missing one thing, and it has two things that the Duramax doesn't. What it's missing is, of course, the exhaust brake. What it has is a 7th and an 8th gear that the Duramax doesn't have. So I've got more gears, but certainly one less exhaust brake. So this one gets 17 combined. I recall the ZR2 with the Duramax gets 22 on the highway, which is considerably better. This one on the highway gets 18, so 4 MPH better in the Duramax. Diesel fuel is also a little bit more expensive, so you're gonna have to pay a little bit more at the pump, but you're gonna get better fuel economy. This one is more responsive. It's just that plain and simple. You've got more gears and you've got just a more responsive, more traditional engine. In terms of its ride quality, these shocks, according to GM, provide both great desert running and rock crawling ability. And on the road, it feels like a sports car. It's got that kind of dampened feel where you can see that the shocks are working and you can feel that they're controlling the sway of the body. It's certainly not like the Raptor where you're almost floating down the road. Under the hood of this ZR2 is the V6, the 3.6 liter that puts out 308 horsepower and 275 pound-foot of torque. It is mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. It doesn't have paddle shifters, but it does have, you know, a front locker. There we go. Oh, we just missed it by a hair. 9.01, 9.01. That was so close. And yes, guys, I would love to take all these off-road because they are off-road worthy trucks, but you'll have to wait to Colorado till we can get all of them together again. When the manufacturers get them together for us, we have to take advantage of it, and that's what I'm doing right here. Their rules are that we can't take these off-road, at least not these competitive vehicles, so I'm not taking them off-road. It's their program, their rules. That's how we get early access to these trucks. Now, I started this review by asking a simple question. On the road, which one makes you feel the most special? And the one that makes me feel the most special, at least in the ZR2, is right here. It's the Duramax. Yes, it's $3,500 more, but all that torque is well worth it. Now, of course, the Raptor is the fastest truck here. It is kind of the gold standard when it comes to desert racing trucks, and it is, of course, the most comfortable, and it does make me feel the most special. It is also by far the most expensive. The Toyota, it's starting to feel a little bit old. It's getting a little Aguarian to some extent. Of course, this one is proven, it is reliable, it has the worst seating position by far, but it is a truck that you know will keep running and will be worth about as much tomorrow as it is today. Now, of course, the last truck that we have is a 3.6 liter ZR2. And I gotta tell you, out of the mid-size trucks, this is the one that is probably the best as an everyday driver. It's the easiest to live with. It's the easiest to kind of just jump in and go to work. But once again, if it were my money, and if I was picking between the mid-size trucks, I would certainly go for the ZR2 with the Duramax. It's the one that makes me feel the most special. As always, this is Roman reporting for the Fast Lane Truck. Check out tfltruck.com for more news, views, and of course, on-road reviews of off-road trucks. Go figure. Ciao.